Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Democracy 4 with me, Alpha Pi Omega. So in the last episode we have ended as France due to our second election term running out, and today we are going to start a new country, which is going to be Canada, because that's the only country that I haven't played and I'm looking for, seeing what's different about it, say from France or Germany. But before I start the game, I just wanted to address one thing that I have seen you guys mention and that I've seen on Steam as well. Yes, Democracy 4 at this point is pretty much a reskin Democracy 3 as far as I can see, but that's not a bad thing. Starting early access with updated graphics and engine at the place where your last game ended is, in my opinion, a very good step forward. So during the early access, I'm hoping that we're gonna see the new features and things that are going to differentiate Democracy 4 from Democracy 3. So in my opinion, it's not a problem. It's actually a good sign, because Democracy 3 itself was very well refined and we need just more of everything. Especially I'm looking forward to the community working with the easier way in which you can mod the game. That was one thing that was a bit wonky with Democracy 3, and I expect Democracy 4 to be a big step forward in that. Without further ado then, let's go ahead and see what Canada offers. Canada is a federal parliamentary democracy with a constitutional monarchy. The Prime Minister is elected. Former a colony of Great Britain, the new nation of Canada first became a democracy in 1867. In 1919, women won the vote, but it wasn't until 1960 when all Canadian citizens, irrespective of ethnicity, could vote and universal suffrage became a law. Okay, so Canada has 37.7 million people, which is about half of what we had with France. But it has, about 15 or 16 times more in square kilometers than France has. The religion is mostly Christian, almost 70%, 24.9% unaffiliated, 1.2% Islam, 1% Hinduism, and 1.4% Sikhism. Main exports are oil, wood, refined fuel, gold, metals, and gems. World leader in longest coastline, quality of life, transparency of government and business, and national obsession. Do we have that here? Yeah, national obsession of France was gastronomy, equality, wine, and competitive cycling. Here it's maple syrup, ice hockey, politeness, and diversity. I actually don't like maple syrup that much. So we're going to keep the difficulty at 100%, innate socialism and innate liberalism at 100%, political apathy at 33%, starting debt as it's preset. I checked that the difficulty mostly drops your income, and that's quite drastic at this point. So we'll see. United left, huh? Let's go with the new technocrats. Did we have that? We had the technocratic party. So yeah, let's go with the new technocrats and check out what Canada is going to look like. As I mentioned, I haven't ever fired the game up as Canada, so I'm interested in seeing what the challenge will be. Welcome to your new job as Prime Minister. The lives of all 47,742,000 citizens are now in your hands. As you will imagine, there are a number of situations and concerns that you will need to deal with as soon as possible, while keeping an eye on the long-term improvement of our citizens' quality of life. Plus, do not forget that you face re-election in 5 years, so you will need to monitor the opinion polls and our party membership. Good luck. So we have good education and GDP. That's not a good sign. Once your GDP is starting high, you don't have that much maneuvering to do. Health is not good though. That's interesting. Unemployment is fairly high. Crime and poverty are fairly low. Okay, so people are mad. Most people are liberal. A lot of people are motorists. Then we have the environmentalists, which are not very happy with us. Capitalists, middle income commuter. We have good standing with the poor. Socialists, trade unionists don't like me. Okay, so let's go around and see what things we have here. Respiratory disease is almost maxed out. Okay, that's not good. We have doctor strike as well. Okay, so it's two things that really need to go away. God. Obesity. And hospital overcrowding. Great. We have uncompetitive economy. We have pollution, and we have environmental protests. Okay, you probably saw all of these when I was playing France. This one is new though. Cyber warfare. Our nation suffers from a serious problem of deliberate cyber warfare conducted by a combination of rival governments, criminal organizations, and international terror groups. By paralyzing our internet infrastructure, these attacks can cause widespread chaos. There is also a problem of trade secrets being stolen by foreign companies, which will affect our competitiveness abroad and thus our GDP. So this one slightly increases crime, but fairly drastically lowers GDP. So technology and GDP makes this go high up. Intelligence services should be, yeah. Okay, so I think that if we invest more in intelligence services, we'll be able to get rid of that. Oh, and we have one positive. Northwest Passage. The Northwest Passage is a trade route that runs along Canada's northern coastline, often blocked entirely by ice. Climate change has led to melting seas. What? Climate change has led to melting sea ice and opened up this route, which dramatically cuts shipping times and allows wider vessels than those that would use the Panama Canal. Okay, so the average temperature increases our international trade. That's interesting. Well, that's one of the effects. We have income of $62.3 billion, and we are expending $71.82 billion. Oh. So deficit is $9.49 billion, and debt is actually sizable, $694.45 billion. We have a deficit that's going to increase it quite interestingly, but debt to GDP ratio is 58.7%. So our most of our income comes from income taxes. Then there's government borrowing. Sales tax is actually very low. That's good. Corporation tax is very high. Unfortunately, payroll tax, none. Really? A tax levied on employers in proportion to the salaries paid to employees. Easy to collect and hard to avoid, but can act as a disincentive to employment. Okay, this would kill the GDP very quickly. Lowers wages, increases industrial automation and uncompetitive economy. Okay. There's carbon tax, property tax, we get some tobacco, alcohol, inheritance tax, petrol tax, airline, recreational drug tax. So we have legalized marijuana probably. Wait. I'm gonna see that this way, won't I? Yeah, like this. Narcotics. Age limit for cannabis. Legalized cannabis. Legalized heroin. That's insane. That's insane. Okay, so what do we need to do here? It's actually kind of simple. We need to get rid of the deficit. So what are our expenses? State pensions. Okay. State schools. Holy hell, oil drilling subsidies. $7 billion in oil drilling subsidies. Well, that boosts our GDP significantly, but holy hell. I don't think it has an effect that's... Okay, I can just lower it immediately. That's crazy. So if I drop that, we would see a deficit of about 2.5 billion, which is kind of cool. And that should... I could cut it out completely, I think, but I'm not sure. It increases foreign investment. No, let's kill it completely. That's gonna help our standing with the environmentalists. And we can instead implement... Where are they? Trade Council. Yes, that's gonna increase foreign relations and international trade for 73 million. And it's gonna hit our GDP though. That's a bummer. But I guess, yeah, this is gonna help a bit. 106. And if I could lower some of the problems here, like the uncompetitive economy. It's very high though. But it's mostly being increased by the corporation tax. So if I drop that to this, we might see it go away. Well, I'm not entirely sure. Let's see what the effect is going to be. So GDP actually increased, health increased, education increased, unemployment, crime, and poverty dropped. Ban tobacco adverts. There's a proposal for a law to outlaw the advertising of tobacco on television. Although it would remain illegal to advertise on a billboard and other means, a TV ban is seen as a potential way to reduce smoking by our citizens. Reject ban. There is no direct 100% proven evidence that tobacco is anywhere near as harmful as some pressure groups claim. Millions of our citizens enjoy a smoke without any serious ill effects. And this is an example of the nanny state trying to tell people what to do. It's their bodies and their decision. Approved ban. Smoking kills millions of people prematurely every year and is highly addictive. Any steps the government can take towards reducing the number of people suffering smoking-related illness is welcome. People will still have the right to smoke, but this reduces the chance of the next generation taking up. Yeah, let's approve the ban. Yeah, that's what I was expecting, that the liberals would be super mad. Okay, we actually have a surplus. No, okay, it's a deficit. I read that wrong. We have a small budget deficit of 2 billion. Okay, and our popularity has increased by cancelling the oil drilling. Environmental protests are increasing. Okay, this is going to work, hopefully. I wanted to do something for the environment because that's gonna help. There's a lot of small things that we can do. Keep the country tidy campaign. Technology colleges. Can't I do? No. Reforestation? Do we already have the reforestation? Keep the country tidy. Where is the environment? Air travel, car emissions, car usage, GDP. Okay, recycling, we can put that on an overdrive. Income tax. It's at a point where increasing it will hurt our GDP. But if I manage to increase it just a tad more, we'd be at a surplus. Okay, let's increase it by 5%. That's drastic, but that will immediately put us at a surplus, 2.43 billion. Okay, so we got rid of the deficit and our GDP is increasing, unemployment and crime is dropping. Whaling. A resolution is before the government proposing the reintroduction of small-scale commercial whaling in our waters. Whale meat is prized local delicacy and commercial whaling would create many jobs. Keep ban in place. We are not going to hunt whales. Whales are generally accepted to be among the most intelligent non-human species on Earth. They maintain a crucial position in the aquatic food chain and yet have been hunted close to extinction. Restarting commercial whaling would be incredibly destructive, as well as potentially causing a drop in tourism. We should refocus our efforts on whale watching rather than hunting. I agree. So now we have a surplus. That was really quick. Let's see what you are doing. Yeah, okay, that's at all not helping. We need, wow, our productivity is incredibly bad. Okay, alcohol consumption. Do we have an alcohol tax in place? We do. So let's just increase the alcohol tax. It's gonna kill the consumption. Tobacco tax can go up as well. And end the turn. Tonight's headlines. We got an International Literary Award. We got a budget increase. Good. So, what else can we do to help the environment? Which is not increasing, unfortunately. Pollution controls. Common targets. Yeah, that hurts the GDP a bit, but do we have... Oh, and we have an obesity epidemic, don't we? Yeah. Okay. There's a lot of things that we can do here. Witness protection program. I don't think we need anything from law and order. Let's instead get... Well, this would lower the crime, but I don't feel like that's a problem. Tax. Junk food tax. Yeah, let's do that. It's gonna give us a bit of an income. It's gonna battle the obesity. And there should be mandatory... But that one was... Okay, let's go with health food subsidies as well. Okay, I think that might be all we can do. Oh, tobacco awareness campaign, definitely. We need that for the respiratory disease, which is just insane. Okay. So, single-use plastics ban. Shock at the amount of plastic pollution in our water supply, our oceans, and even in the air we breathe has led to call from scientists to ban single-use plastics entirely to get the problem of plastic pollution under control. It's absolutely ridiculous that we allow companies to use plastic packaging that will be used only once but will take maybe hundreds of years to break down, and even then may end up in our water supply. Other materials are available, and only government legislation will persuade companies to do the right thing and swap to more suitable products. Well, single-use plastics. This sounds like an easy crowd-pleasing change, but the impact on industry would be massive. Like it or not, we have got used to the idea of cheap, single-use plastic in many parts of our life. A ban would cause immediate cost and regulatory hell for our small businesses and be an economic nightmare. Meanwhile, foreign companies will use them as normal. Let's ban it. And yeah, the budget is increasing, which is great. Rural development grants. That helps with GDP too. So let's get them up. It helps with unemployment and everything. There was a large discussion about the grants, and I'm all for it. I don't see it as bad. Now the GDP will be increased. Farmers, car usage and rail usage. That car usage and rail usage, I will understand, is bad. But lowered unemployment, increased equality, and the GDP speaks for itself. Plus, the rural areas of the country are extremely important in many ways. Okay, we don't have this on, really? Now we do. Okay, the GDP keeps increasing, and so does the relative GDP. So does the global economy. So we are just getting very lucky this time. There's not much. Well, we need to check what we're doing here. Respiratory disease just is not getting better. Hospital overcrowding thus is not getting better, and doctor strike is not getting better. Obesity started to drop, and there are many things that we have implemented that will take some time to take effect. Okay, so we might see that going away. Pollution just keeps on increasing. That's worrisome. Uncompetitive economy keeps going away. I need to keep increasing. Okay, we need more technology. Nuclear fission. Stem cells research. Technology grants. Do we have anything? Actually, we could increase the expenses into science. Science funding here. That would... Oh, holy crap. State employees GDP. Oh, damn. That actually was hurting us incredibly. Okay, so I have no problem in dedicating 2 billion of the surplus into this. It's going to help with GDP, state employees. Is it going to lower the unemployment? Yeah, it's going to lower the unemployment slightly, but the technology and energy efficiency is something that we really need. Especially for the environment, this is going to be beneficial. Energy efficiency is extremely important. And while we're at it, let's get bicycle subsidies. We need to lower the lower the obesity and increase people moving, or increase the general amount of people moving. GM food proposal. A number of large agricultural companies are interested in growing genetically modified food on our soil. Some food can be genetically manipulated to allow for longer shelf life and both disease and herbicide resistance. Opponents are concerned about the potential risk associated with altering the food chain. Farmers are divided on the issue. We're going to allow it. I never saw a real reason to not allow GM crops. Basically just people being afraid. But we have been modifying genetically or in any other way our food since the time of Egypt. And maybe even longer than that. GM crops have huge potential benefits. Not only do they increase shelf life and thus reduce cost for the sellers, but they also reduce the need for pesticides, thus meaning less harmful chemicals in use during their production. It's also possible for foods to be created with other benefits such as improved vitamin content. Okay, and it helps GDP and capitalists. Environmentalists are not happy, which I don't actually understand, but okay. Sticking up for the environment. An environmental protester has breached airport security and glued themselves to an airplane. The flight has been prevented from taking off, and there is widespread disruption at the capital's airport. Okay. Our budget is in a great shape. We are lowering the debt. What's our actual credit rating? AA. Okay. So paying 1.83 debt interest, and we are getting close to dropping sub 50%. Now, one thing that I wanted to check is the law regarding the elections. Judicial independence. Okay, that's not it. Prison regime, balanced. Gentle, harsh. It's interesting. Harsh actually increases crime, while gentle lowers the crime. I don't understand what the difference between these and these. No, it just seems to have a double effect. That's so weird. Okay, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for elections. It has to be here, right? Corruption. Gender Discrimination Act. Prison regime. Race Discrimination Act. Or maybe it's in public services. Hey, we do have the reforestation. Okay, let's max it out while I'm looking at this. This is gonna help the environment, drop the respiratory disease. And we do have the money. There's the Keep the Country Tidy campaign. The State Water Company. Interesting. Stem cell research. I don't see the... Oh, here it is. Executive term limit. None! Okay, the number of times a country leader can stand for re-election. Term limits act as a method to curb monopolistic governance where a country leader becomes office holder for life. Setting a term limit is a balancing act, as it is an important check to maintain democracy, but can also curtail the benefits of good leadership. Okay, so we had it at a minimum last time. And now this lowers democracy. But we don't have a problem with that. Okay. Executive term length. 7 years. We could get it, we could lower the executive term limit if we feel like it, but the state of democracy, press freedom, that's also very important. Prisoner voting, maximum. Gender Discrimination Act. It helps with foreign aid, foreign investment and stability. I guess that stability is extremely important for a country. We'll need to do something with the cyber warfare. Yeah, I wanted to increase the budget of intelligence services. So let's do that now. Okay, environmental processes are increasing, pollution is increasing. Okay, you're not dropping nearly as fast as I would need you to. You're gonna have to increase the technology grants and state postal service. Huh. More safe to industrial automation. Yeah, we're gonna go with. Now I could maybe increase the education a bit. If we increase education a bit, and if we increase the productivity, maybe we can get rid of the uncompetitive economy. But I'm happy that we started and got rid of the deficit so fast. I'm actually thinking if you cancel places like State Water Company, do we have more of those? Electric car, agriculture, social care. Yeah, the State Energy Company and the State Water Company. If we got rid of both of these, we could easily get a lot of money that would lower the debt. You basically privatize the company and use it to pay some of your debt. So getting that done would work marvelous. I think we could drop it by, say, 80 billion. Maybe I'm a bit too optimistic, but we could drop it by at least 50. I'm sure about that. At which point, well, that wouldn't do much. I guess that would be like 400 million per month. But still, 400 million is good. Anyway, I'm going to end the episode here and start the next one. So I'll see you guys there.